Hey there! Welcome to module number 9, where we will read some modernist poetry. Like modernist fiction writers, poets of the modern era also experimented with form. They wanted their poetry to be noticeably different and innovative. Some poets, like T.S. Eliot and Pablo Neruda, used free verse, meaning their poems have no fixed rhyme or meter. Instead, these poets depend on other sound elements like repetition of phrases or consonants or vowel sounds. T.S. Eliot and Pablo Neruda also both won Nobel Prizes for their work. So let's start with T.S. Eliot. His poem, The Love Song of J. Alfred Prufrock, is a dramatic monologue where our speaker faces his crippling insecurity of proposing to his lover. A dramatic monologue is a poem that is in the voice of a character. So through the speech, we see the character develop. Except there's a twist. Instead of speaking to someone else, we discover at the end of the poem that Prufrock is really just talking to himself. The next poet we will read is Rainer Maria Rilke. He wrote his poem called The Panther in German around the year 1902. And it's about a caged panther he saw in the Jardin des Plantes in Paris. The Jardin des Plantes is a botanical garden and a zoo in the center of the bustling metropolis of Paris. So first, we have to recognize that this great majestic creature from the jungle is really out of place. It doesn't belong in a city. It doesn't belong in a cage. So the great will of this beast is now, as Rilke says, paralyzed because all it can do is walk around in circles and try to see past the bars of its cage. However, it's implied that the creature cannot even see past these bars because, and I quote, behind 1,000 bars, no world. Rilke does use regular rhyme and meter in the original German, so this is not a free verse poem. I included the original German along with the translation. The poem consists of 4 quatrains. Remember, they're stanzas of 4 lines. And there's an A-B rhyme scheme, meaning there's an alternating rhyme scheme. And what makes this poem innovative is rather the subject matter. He's exploring the point of view of a creature locked in a zoo. So we have to ask why Rilke decided to focus on this panther. What about this creature is so meaningful? I take this panther to be a metaphor for modern man. We are great, majestic beings, but modern life in a city like Paris only ends up imprisoning us. And then our last poet in this module is Pablo Neruda, a poet from Chile, a country in South America where Spanish is spoken. He wrote, I'm explaining a few things, or in Spanish, explico algunas cosas, in 1936. In this poem, he depicts Madrid, the capital of Spain, before and after the Civil War. At line 35, all of the descriptions change, where the poet states, and one morning all that was burning. And the poem ends with an exclamation, come and see the blood in the streets. That is Neruda's answer to the question he mentions in the beginning of why he does not write about the great volcanoes of his native land. It's because there is violence that needs to be exposed. This is a very moving poem that effectively uses shock value to convey the horrors of war. Just as in the translation, the Spanish original does not have fixed rhyme or meter. And while many Spanish words end in A or O, the lack of fixed rhyme or meter makes the tone of the poem very conversation-like. The abundant, vivid description is also what makes this poem remarkable. I hope you enjoy the poems as much as I do.